Picture this. You're scrolling through your phone on Father's Day morning, probably planning a simple barbecue or maybe just staying in bed an extra hour. Meanwhile, Nick Cannon is literally chartering a private jet to fly across the entire United States, not for a business deal, not for a celebrity appearance, but to spend quality time with all 12 of his children in a single day. Yes, you heard that right, 12 kids, one day. One man on a mission that's equal parts heartwarming and absolutely insane. This isn't just any Father's Day story. This is the kind of story that makes you question everything you thought you knew about modern fatherhood, blended families, and what it really means to show up for your kids. Because, while the internet has spent years making memes about Nick Cannon's ever-growing family tree, this Father's Day move is forcing everyone to ask a different question. What does it actually look like when a father refuses to let logistics, distance, or complexity stop him from being present? The reports started surfacing from Media Takeout, and honestly, the details sound like something out of a Hollywood movie. Nick Cannon, the man who's built an empire in entertainment while simultaneously building what can only be described as his own personal basketball team of children, decided that this Father's Day would be different. Not just different, epic. We're talking about a coast-to-coast flight schedule that would make a touring musician jealous, with stops planned in New York, Miami, and Los Angeles. The goal, face-to-face time with every single one of his children on the same day. Now, let's pause here for a reality check. Most of us struggle to coordinate a group text with our siblings, and Nick Cannon is out here orchestrating a multi-city, multi-time zone Father's Day extravaganza that requires actual flight planning. This isn't your typical dead move where you fire up the grill and hope everyone shows up. This is strategic parenting at 30,000 feet. And honestly, it's the kind of dedication that makes you wonder if the rest of us are even trying. But here's where this story gets really interesting. Because Nick Cannon's Father's Day jet tour isn't just about the spectacle. It's about the mathematics of modern fatherhood when your family structure looks nothing like the traditional nuclear family most people grew up with. We're talking about 12 children with multiple mothers spread across the country, each with their own schedules, their own lives, their own needs. The logistics alone are mind-boggling. Let's break down this roster for a second, because understanding the scope of what Nick is attempting makes this whole thing even more impressive. There are Monroe and Moroccan, his iconic twins with Mariah Carey, probably the most famous of his children, and the ones who first introduced the world to Nick Cannon as a father. Then there's the wave of children he's welcomed over the past few years with Brittany Bell, Abby De La Rosa, Alyssa Scott, and others. Each child represents not just a different relationship, but a different set of dynamics, different co-parenting arrangements, different cities, different schedules, and yet, instead of using distance and complexity as an excuse to dial it in, Nick is literally flying across the country to make sure every single child gets their Father's Day moment. That's not just dedication. That's the kind of intentional parenting that most people only dream about. While other celebrity fathers might send expensive gifts or post Instagram stories, Nick is showing up in person, one private jet flight at a time. The internet, of course, has had a field day with Nick Cannon's large family over the years. The memes write themselves, the jokes are endless, and there's no shortage of commentary about his choices. But here's what's getting lost in all the noise. Behind every meme is a real father who's actively choosing to be present in his children's lives, not just financially present, not just present in name, but actually, physically, emotionally present. Think about it for a second. In a world where absent fathers are unfortunately common, where co-parenting often becomes a source of drama rather than collaboration, where blended families struggle to find their rhythm, Nick Cannon is out here chartering jets to make sure he doesn't miss a single Father's Day moment with any of his kids. Say what you want about his family structure, but you cannot question his commitment to showing up. And this isn't a one-time publicity stunt either. If you follow Nick on social media, you'll see the pattern: school events, birthday parties, Casual family outings, sweet Instagram posts celebrating each child's achievements. This is a man who's consistently present in his children's lives, even when the cameras aren't rolling. The Father's Day jet tour is just the most extreme example of a philosophy he's been living for years. No matter how complicated the logistics get, no matter how unconventional the family structure looks, every child deserves to feel prioritized by their father. But let's talk about what this really represents, because the private jet is just the vehicle. The real story here is about intentionality. It's about a father who looked at his complex family situation and decided that instead of making excuses, he was going to find solutions. Instead of letting distance become a barrier, he was going to eliminate distance entirely instead of picking favorites or taking the easy route. He was going to show up for everyone. This is the kind of fatherhood that challenges all our assumptions about what modern families can look like. Traditional family structures are increasingly rare, and yet we still judge non-traditional arrangements as if they're somehow less valid or less loving. Nick Cannon's Father's Day mission forces us to ask, what if we measured fatherhood not by the structure of the family, but by the intention and effort of the father? The co-parenting aspect of this story is particularly remarkable. Coordinating a single Father's Day celebration with 12 children and multiple mothers requires a level of communication, cooperation, and mutual respect that most people can't achieve in traditional two-parent households. Every mother had to agree to the plan, every schedule had to be coordinated, every child's needs had to be considered. This isn't just Nick showing up. This is an entire network of parents working together to make sure every child feels loved and prioritized. And while the private jet might grab the headlines, the real expense here isn't financial. It's emotional and physical. Flying across the country in a single day, managing multiple visits, ensuring quality time with each child, navigating different family dynamics at each stop, this is exhausting work. This is the kind of Father's Day celebration that requires stamina, planning, and genuine love for each child. The criticism will come, of course. Some will say it's too much, too flashy, too over the top. Others will argue that consistent presence throughout the year matters more than grand gestures on special days. But here's the thing, Nick Cannon has shown consistent presence throughout the year, and this Father's Day tour is just the cherry on top. This isn't a father trying to make up for absence with expensive gestures. This is a father who's already present, trying to make a special day even more special. There's also something beautiful about the message this sends to each of his children. In a world where they're going to grow up seeing memes about their large family, where they might sometimes feel like they're part of a crowd rather than individuals, this Father's Day celebration says something powerful. You matter enough for Dad to charter a jet just to see you. You matter enough for him to cross the country. You matter enough for him to make this day about you, even when he has 11 other children who also need his attention. The logistics alone deserve respect. Most people can't coordinate a simple family dinner without something going wrong, and Nick is orchestrating a multi-city tour that requires precision timing, backup plans, and the kind of organizational skills that would impress a military operation. Every flight has to be perfectly scheduled. Every visit has to be timed just right. Every child's schedule has to be considered. One delay, one changed plan, one unexpected issue, and the whole thing could fall apart. But that's what makes this story so compelling. It's not just about the money to charter a jet. Plenty of celebrities have that kind of money. It's about the willingness to take on the complexity, to embrace the chaos, to turn what could be an overwhelming logistical nightmare into a celebration of fatherhood. It's about refusing to let the unconventional nature of his family structure become an excuse for conventional effort. The ripple effects of this kind of intentional fatherhood go far beyond Father's Day. Every child who experiences this level of dedication from their father carries that with them. They learn what it means to prioritize family, what it looks like when someone goes above and beyond, what it feels like to be truly valued. These aren't just Father's Day memories. These are foundational experiences that shape how these children will approach their own relationships and their own parenting someday. And let's be honest about something else. This story is forcing a lot of people to examine their own parenting and their own excuses. How many fathers could make more effort, but choose not to? How many parents let distance, scheduling conflicts, or complicated family dynamics become reasons to dial back their involvement? Nick Cannon's Father's Day tour is a masterclass in refusing to accept limitations and instead finding creative solutions.